Where are we now? The prospect of everything seems hopeless with a bunch of angry lunatic grandpas ruling everything. Let's not mention the files. This year seemingly has speedrun going to shit as we experience multiple threats to world peace.
Again.
Putting that aside, it becomes more apparent that what matters is yourself and your immediate surroundings. So, where are we as individuals now? I'm 21 years old in one of the most tragic countries to exist. I know I sound like a broken record when I say this, but what can I say when this has been the case since before I was born with no change seen whatsoever? We have a government that's trying, and mostly failing, at being competent, and a political party, or parties, cults, militias at this point,
They're synonyms in this country.
that drag us into undesirable situations or war at every chance instead of investing in fixing the internal issues for the past, I don't know how long. And there's an enemy that just wants to expand and occupy us and is doing whatever it can to separate us with sowing hatred amongst the people, which is unfortunately more generalized towards specific sects instead of people who are actually responsible. Before anyone criticizes me for said views, despite me literally criticizing every responsible party except for the UN or international law because they've basically always been
Useless.
let me say that I still live and have lived in this country my entire life and have been watching everything unfold. So, whoever anyone potentially believed in for the past, I don't know, decade or century, has provided everyone with empty promises as nothing changes. And when things are about to change, there is always internal sabotage. Also, I'm a fresh pair of eyes that has a longer attachment to the future. I am seeing what's being done here and I'm exposed to how far behind we are when I keep up to date with the new things that are being made in other countries and regions. But right here, a civil war may be brewing. We got over 1,000 plus casualties, much more injured, like double or triple, and 1 million plus, emphasis on plus, people displaced from their homes, which is a 1 in every 5 or 6 people in a population between 6 to 8 million. Hello guys, so before we move on, this is Editor Mist here. I just wanted to say that if you're interested in Lebanese politics, I recommend you follow this guy on Instagram, Jad Talks Politics. He does an amazing job at explaining the political situation in Lebanon using very short yet very informative content on his reels. He also criticizes everyone involved in a civil manner, which is rare, especially in this country. And he is aware of how mass media controls the narrative and raises tensions, so he tries to be as clear as possible in his content. So far, I really like how he puts things into perspective. Whether that'll change, only time will tell with his stance if that evolves or changes, but for now I really like him. Good job, man, and yeah, I definitely recommend his stuff. Now back to the video. My work doesn't make it easy for me as I finally got a job in broadcast or TV, which is actually part of what I studied for, TV and film. So all around, avoiding the news is pretty much inevitable for me. Due to the conditions, I'm working 9 hours a day, 7 days a week, where usually it's 6 days. Interestingly enough, it also seemed from the talks with my boss that I'm overqualified to be in the position I'm in, and he wants me to be able to do more. Also, in TV, everything is more straightforward as a role. There's not much room or leeway for improvement, and it's very much corporate. It always struck me as odd that I'm the youngest guy working in this field of TV, even during my internship. The dream, though, is to make bigger things, better paying things. Eventually, this channel will feel more like a test for something else I want to build with my actual face this time, maybe, so that I can do something that I do enjoy and make a living out of it. I've been buying some equipment mainly for film, but it's generally to properly have a setup. I have a camera and a light with more lights to come, a lens, and I'm eyeing some audio equipment that I want to get into down the line. Once I'm a bit more financially secure and once I see the country stabilize just a tiny bit instead of self-imploding every 10 seconds. Mentally, it's been tough and challenging as I and the others around me grow. Some people are showing their true colors or their personality to be, and some people have more radical views which ostracize and make it difficult to have conversations. So I've been keeping my distance away from multiple people and only talking with people I trust, where there are still people that I need to follow up with, admittedly. It's hard to find hope when your life has basically been a gamble. I recently knew that a friend of mine is traveling due to the situation. I wanted to visit her till she revealed to me that she was texting me from the car on her way to the airport, and all I could think about was best of luck for her and how much it sucks to live in a situation as such. To be forced into something like this when you have established a life or are in the process of building it right here. Nothing feels worth it anymore. We may be witnessing a change on a global scale, and all we can think of is how will we make it to the next day. Recently, I've been using this channel to vent out my frustration and hopefully to give some insight on the situation happening in Lebanon, my country, despite this being not intentional and just a reflection of my environment. I'm trying to sew parallels to relate to people within my age range or group maybe, or just to relate to audiences outside of Lebanon, as this topic could speak to many people maybe facing something similar to this, which I hope no one is. But I do hope that there is that connection that can be fostered to grow a sense of not being all alone in a miserable world. I don't claim to be a voice for our generation. Hell, most people, at least locally, don't really listen to me anyways. But that doesn't stop my right to voice what I think is overlooked and needs to be said, and being exposed to a wider audience or reception is a lot scarier, but also very hopeful to seek places to provide ideas in a modern manner. Platforms like this give much more reach into the outside world. It's what they were initially built for, designed for, before corporate greed took over in most aspects. But YouTube still does retain that factor for me at least. Everywhere I look, all the information I take in, paired with the way I think and was educated, shows me how much more knowledgeable one can be compared to others in their region. And I wish people would do the same instead of taking their information from the same sources over and over again. I want people to expand their horizons, to form their own thoughts instead of having all black and white mentalities. So, for the foreseeable future, I'll always be watching, I'll always be learning, I'll always try to be here, and I'll always log on to see where are we now?